Well, today, Monday, in New York City, in the courtroom of Judge Alvin Hellerstein on Pearl Street, begins the latest installment of the saga of Larry Silverstein, the World Trade Center landlord, suing various insurance companies and other people he blames for the damage that the World Trade Center suffered on 9/11. This has been going on ever since the attacks, and the background here is that Larry Silverstein and his partners purchased a 100-year lease on the World Trade Center in July of 2001, just 2 months before September 11th. And what's especially odd about this is that the World Trade Center skyscrapers were condemned for asbestos. They lost a lawsuit. The Port Authority of New York owned the skyscrapers of the World Trade Center, and they lost a lawsuit. They were ordered to remove all of the asbestos from all of the frame material of all these two gigantic twin towers. This would have cost upwards of $10 billion, which is far more than the buildings were worth. In fact, they had already passed the end of their useful life. So for some strange reason, Mr. Silverstein purchased the World Trade Center 2 months before 9/11. And the first thing he did was he doubled the insurance. He hardballed his insurers to change the policy to cash payout. And then, lo and behold, 2 months later, 9/11 happened, and the entire World Trade Center complex was totally destroyed. No other building was damaged beyond repair, only the buildings with WTC prefixes. So Larry Silverstein, who had doubled the insurance on the World Trade Center, went to court, and then he doubled it again by claiming that there were two completely separate and unrelated incidents. The two planes that supposedly knocked down the three buildings, actually maybe 8 buildings, all told, were destroyed. Building 7 was the third and the one that was most obviously taken down in a demolition. Well, Larry Silverstein then, apparently not having been given proper instructions, admitted on national television in a PBS series called America Rebuilds that he had been privy to pulling Building 7, a 47-story high-rise that was probably the most secure building in New York City, housing the CIA, the Securities Exchange Commission, and other high-security tenants. Silverstein admitted that he demolished that building, and yet he went to court and collected more than $800 million in insurance money for Building 7. So ever since 9/11, Silverstein has been doing these lawsuits, and he's got a new lawsuit going now against other parties, including the airlines and other insurance companies. He's asking for another $11 billion in the courtroom of Judge Hellerstein, who is another notorious Zionist like Silverstein. And Hellerstein reduced that and capped it to $3 billion. So today, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Silverstein will be in Judge Hellerstein's court on Pearl Street in New York City trying to add to these insurance fraud winnings. He only paid about $100 million to lease the Trade Center, and he has so far collected almost $5 billion, and he's asking for another $3 billion more. It's probably the biggest scandal in American history, and I thank Press TV for covering it.